Hey, what's up guys? Alex here with a new video, and today we're going to be talking about the new Sony a7R V. If you're new to the channel, I am a portrait photographer based out of Orlando, Florida, and I've been shooting with Sony since last year. My primary photo camera has been the Sony a7 IV, and my video camera has been the Sony FX3. When Sony announced the Sony a7R V, I knew I had to jump on it. It had some killer features, and I wanted to get my hands on it. I've owned this camera since launch, so it's about 2 months, not long enough to do a full review, but definitely long enough to do my first impressions. Like I do with all my videos, I will be including image samples for you to download and play with yourself. It's one thing to hear it from me, but it's another thing to actually play with the files and see what I'm talking about. I will also be playing images throughout the video. Those will be edited with my preset. If you like the look, feel free to check it out down below. For today's video, we're going to cover 3 pros and 2 cons. Only 2 cons because that's all I have for this camera. This is close to a perfect camera. With that said, let's kick things off. Let's start off with my number 1 pro, image quality. This camera rivals medium format. 61 megapixels is absolutely incredible. Tons of detail and resolution. There's no AA filter on this sensor, so you're getting some crispy results. I'm actually blown away by the combination of this sensor and the Sony 50mm f1.2 G Master. That combo is just absolutely incredible. Like, I am in love with it. I like it so much that I started carrying this camera and that lens almost everywhere with me because the results are that good. Image quality in this camera, like I said, rivals medium format. As a matter of fact, I think it might be better because you're not getting any of the negatives of medium format. You're not getting the slow autofocusing speed, the slow menus. You're getting an incredibly fast camera with incredible autofocus, and of course, that awesome image quality. So for my number 1 pro, image quality on this camera is just chef's kiss, amazing. Number 2, autofocusing. This is the best autofocusing system I have ever used. Sony has now integrated AI algorithms to detect people and bodies, cars, animals, and it is fast, it is accurate. I mean, it's like cheating now. With these new systems, I didn't think autofocusing could get better. I was really happy with the a7 IV. I used to use the R5, even the R3, and those were great. But Sony did it. Like, this is the best autofocusing system on the market. I haven't missed a shot with this camera. It is accurate, it is sticky, and I'm super impressed that they have their best AF system with their highest resolution body. For some weird reason that just doesn't make sense to me, but hey, I will take it. My 3rd pro is the new screen. So all new cameras now have a flippy screen, which is great for video and vlogging, and I'm using it right now on the FX3, so I'm not gonna complain. But it's terrible for photos. Composing a shot like this is not fun, and it's just kind of horrible to get your kind of lines right, your horizon straight. I don't like it. Well, with the new Sony a7R V, you now have a dual hinge, so you can get the traditional hinge for photography and still get a flippy screen if you need it. Again, the best of both worlds. This is an incredible hybrid camera, and this new flippy screen is really, really sweet. It is a little thicker, but I'll take the size difference for the flexibility. What about the cons? Because, like I said, I am in love with this camera. The number 1 con is a Sony problem that they just can't seem to fix. The ergonomics suck. Now, I do gotta say, I'm 6'4", I have larger hands, and my biggest problem with Sony is when I grip the camera, my fingers rub on the lenses. Now this happens primarily with bigger lenses, the f1.4s, 1.2s, and it's just not comfortable. Sony has continued to make their grips a little larger with every version, but they need to make it a little wider because it is not a comfortable experience. I shot this camera in New York with gloves, and that makes it even a tighter grip. And again, I don't understand why Sony isn't making the camera just a tad bit wider to give you some more clearance between your fingers and the actual lenses. That's a big con. The second con is kind of minor and is to be expected. Low light is not that great with this camera. So I've been spoiled by the Sony a7 IV, the FX3, And these cameras can shoot ISO 6400 comfortably and very clean. FX3 can do 12,800. Before I used to shoot with Canon, the R6 and the R3 I could comfortably shoot at 12,800. Great cameras, lower resolution sensors. With this camera, I can comfortably shoot up to ISO 3200. After that, I think the image is a little too noisy. ISO 3200 on this camera, for example, is comparable to ISO 6400 on the A7 IV, or comparable to ISO 12800 on the Canon R6. Can't complain too much because you are getting a high resolution sensor, and that is one of the cons of a high resolution sensor, but I do have to point it out. Up to ISO 3200, great results. After that, for my taste, it's a little too noisy. Overall, Sony really killed it with this package. You're getting medium format quality in a mirrorless body with incredible speed and performance. My mind is blown that this package exists in this size and it's this reliable. I think it's my new favorite camera of all time, and I can easily recommend it right now. I have to admit, I'm still in my honeymoon phase, but this sensor with the new glass is just, it's too good, it's too crispy. If you can't tell, I'm super excited and super in love with this camera. I will be selling my Sony a7 IV, and I will be replacing it with the a7R V because this will kind of do everything I need it to do and some. I will try to do a long-term review on this camera after I've owned it for a few months and keep you updated on any quirks I find or any other new features that might come with firmware upgrades. As always, guys, I want to hear your thoughts. I've included some files for you to download and play with. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, please like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Peace.